Hey, what's up guys? I'm Bro and today I'm going to be recording a video on Southwest Florida. Sister is usually pretty busy nowadays. She has a lot of work to do. So, it's going to be a lot more Southwest Florida content. Today I'll be teaching you guys how to drift. And what type of car to, if you're starting drifting in Southwest Florida or are you already a pro drifter. So, number one, pick a car. Picking a car isn't the easiest thing in the game because these are my two main drifters. This car, look at the power. 1,000 horsepower, 883 torque. So that means this thing has a lot of power to the kick. Because then there's a lot of power, but it's really hard to control. You want low power, but not too low power. And you want a pretty light car. If you want low power, yeah, you want low power and a supercharger, not a turbo. Supercharger will give you. If there's a car that's supercharged, you'll probably have to go around finding it or looking at other videos to find it because, yeah, I'm pretty broke. So yeah, this thing has way too much power for anyone to drift. I'm a pro drifter, and still it's pretty hard. Come on, it's pretty hard to keep this thing in a slide because this thing wants to kick out farther, do other stuff. To picking a car, you want something that'll be at your level. Like if you got a GT500. One of the best drift cars in the game. This car, you could actually control it, unlike the Exorcist, I think that's what they're called. The Hennessy 1000 horsepower Camaro. This is pretty controllable. It's one of the most control. If you got this, you're pretty lucky. There's some classics that you could drift. Super. It's a little pricey, but I'll show you some super cars that you could also drift. Those cars, and if you have Robux, right now is the best time. Just saying, you could get drift tires. I just lower it for fun. Throw some nice wheels. Put bronze TE is on this. Ooh, yeah, it's kind of like racer, but now this car is the tires gonna make it way easier for me to drift. I'm gonna take this shirt. This car is gonna now this is a drift missile basically. With these drift tires. They're a little hard to drift, but some cars need the drift tires so they could actually drift. This car could do some sick donuts. Still, without the drift tires, is pretty good to the stock tires. The stock tires do pretty good, but you need a car that, because this car can slide. Some cars can't slide, like my Nissan GTR, on the other hand. Yes, I'm getting tires, but I'll get in more depth in tires after. The GTR can slide as well. You can see that, but picking a car is really important. Like, let's go to a dealership, for example. There's, I think, like over 300 cars or 200 cars, something like that. I forget the amount. There's a lot of cars you could pick. There's a lot of good cars as well. But right now, I don't know all the best. But with drift tires, one of the best. What's it called? Oh, this is a really good drift car. I have this on a different account. It is really good. That's pretty good. This is a limited. I don't think I'm gonna buy it. I don't really like it. I have it on a different account. I'm really upset I wasn't able to buy the Viper ACR Extreme package. That's one of my dream cars. I have it on a different account, but I might get the regular Viper. But it's not gonna be as much fun as the Viper ACR Extreme package. So. Oh, the Genesis Coupe. This is a really good card. This is really good. Oh, the Z06 is really good. The NSX, it's good. I like it, but not that much. Like, for example, this only has 280 horsepower, barely any torque. This thing's not gonna slide. If you have Robux, you could force it. Basically, you could force it to slide if you have Robux, or else it doesn't want to slide at all. There's a lot of good cars. You could go through, find the car that you're happy with. S2000, I used this before. GT86 is pretty good. Hatchbacks. None of these could drift because they're all front wheel drive. Front wheel, all wheel. It's actually pretty good. You could kind of slide the Focus. Front. Sedans. There's a lot of good sedans. Get the Hellcat. The Hellcat does pretty good. Tesla. hard to slide. It has a lot of torque. Hellcat. Ooh, if you have the Blackwing could only do it if you have what's it called, drift tires. You could do it on normal tire, but not the best. But if you want to be a complete baller and you want to be like at the top of the drifting, this could actually somehow drift. I don't know how a limo could drift, but I have seen this car drifting around in servers. I don't know how, but they do. Okay, what else is there? Yeah, there's a lot of cool cars here that could drift as well in sedans. They're not just some old cars that could never ever drift, and they're just super slow. I believe this is a SS. Or is it? Turn. Wrong car. Wrong car. This is a really good car. What else is there? Pickup trucks. My favorite pickup truck in the game. These two are really slow. Ram TRX, one of the best. The damn dude is super. Okay, basically all these cars you could almost drift. Almost all of them. Black Series. I actually have this car. I'll show you guys. It's a really good drift car. Viper. I don't know if this could drift, but I know the Viper ACR could drift. This thing is just overpriced. This thing, pretty sure it could drift. This thing could definitely drift. Really could drift. The Porsches are actually really hard to drift. I have actually tried them. You can make them drift. You have to force them. Yeah, unless you have drift tires, you can really make them. They're really easy to drift. All cars are basically easy to drift with drift tires. This is Gallardo, Huracan. This Huracan really could drift. The Performante, you kind of have to force it into drifting, but it's one of the best cars, in my opinion. If you have $264,000, buy it. Mercy SV, best sounding car in the game for me. I have this and I can't stop driving it. Tributo, questionable. It's up to you. It's heavy. It's like the for GT500, for GT. There's a lot of good cars in Super. Best car if you don't have drift tires and you have $1 million and you want to destroy the McLaren P1, and this car's underrated. It's 1.1 million, but you might be like, oh, that's way too much. 1,000 horsepower, 1,000 torque. Okay, look at this car. This car could beat, drum roll please, Pagani Huayra, 1.4 million. The LaFerrari, 2.8 million. The P1, 1.6 million. The what's this called again? 918, 1.3 million. All these cars are over the price, and they're slower. They're slower. And then this actually at one point I was racing this. It's a little slower than the Tesla Roadster, but the Bugatti, the Koenigsegg, and the Veyron could absolutely destroy that car. There's a lot of good super hypercars. Mostly all the P1 could actually drift, but you need drift tires and stuff for it. It's really good. LaFerrari sounds really good at when it's drifting. The Tesla I don't think could drift. There's a lot of good cars in hyper classic. Is it a Supra? Yes, it is. A Supra's one of the best. GTRs are pretty hard to slide. Really good if you have drift tires. Sounds really good. It's a little expensive, but sounds really good. It's actually pretty powerful for how much horsepower it has. GTR. There's a lot of good classics. I know this could definitely drift. I know it. And I know this. You just have to dump the clutch and it starts drifting. Don't know if this could drift, but pretty good car overall. Emergency. Just saying, best cop car in the game. Emergency cars is up to you. Vans definitely can't drift. Motorcycles definitely can't drift. Is there any good motorcycle? A Ducati. I might come back from one later on in the video. Okay. Those are the selections. Now, time to pick on should you buy? So what makes it okay? Tires. They're stock tires. Every car comes with them. They're pretty good. You need high horsepower and a lot of torque to make them slide, because This Mercedes, it doesn't want to slide that much, but it's actually a pretty good drift car if you don't have drift, if you don't have tires. It drifts, it slides, it does everything you need. Really high horsepower, fun to drive. Just stall that. It's real good. Okay, good. We're getting to the gas station, and I messed it up. I know how to drift. I'm just tired today. This is one of my favorite cars they added. I really like the taillights, the wide body, but the front end of this car is not my favorite. But I actually still like the car. I still like the car. It has a massive turbo lag. I found that out the hard way when I'm drifting. It has massive turbo lag. It takes it a second to get into drifting, but when you can get it drifting, it's real good. I don't know why it doesn't want to drift right now. Alright, look how I'm struggling. Just throw some drift tires on. Any car will slide. It's sliding with no problem anymore. Sometimes I feel like drift tires are over, and sometimes I think that the devs are testing out that cars could drift with the only drift tires and they don't check the stock tires. Let me just slam it. It's on the ground now. Let's throw some nice TEs on this. Ooh, I'm gonna not TEs. Yeah, I'm gonna put some TEs on this. Bronze TEs, white car. That's what I mean. This is a really good drift car, but even if you don't have drift tires, it could really drift. Donuts, drifts, everything. You first have to, if to drift, you have to build up the boost, and then dump the clutch, and then just shift. It might take the car some time to get started, and then it starts going. That's a donut, but then drifts is the drift button, the handbrake is P. So then you can just go wee. Yeah, there's too many people here. You can see this car could drift. I have forced it to drift before recording this video. So time to continue on for the next part. But when you lower a car, it doesn't want to go up anything. Next part. I also want to show like how drift tires are way better than stock tires at drifting. Is on this GTR. Drift tires. Slam it. Orange. What if I don't put TEs on this? I'll put on these. Make the car white. Okay. That'll do. Drift tires. Now this car could do this because on drift tires. Now it's all-wheel drive. You can still drift the car because it's all-wheel drive GTR. And now the drift tires. Now the drift tires make it so it could slide. Perfect slides. And it sounds really good too. It's one of my favorite cars. I sold it on my other account because I needed something. So, but hear this. One of the best cars. I just pressed F. Okay, let's continue on. Drift tires, one of the best. Our cars make other cars like this is funny. Also, one of the best cars that are drift cars, I feel like, is, and you can make people laugh, is the H1 Hummer. You might be like, how is this super funny and how can you drift this? And so I can just put some gold wheels on this. Then just rice it out, make it pink. Drift tires. It's not gonna drift yet, but I'm gonna make it drift. Speed. If you get the Mercedes limo is way faster than this one. Just saying. But this thing could actually drift as well. Let me just go into this corner, and it could drift, but not right now. You have to force it into drifting most cars, but yeah, that's the review on the drift cars. I'm gonna make a video on on if you should get the on game passes. On most game passes is drift tires, stock tires, grip tires, You should buy this stock height. Sport, sport, race, stock, paint codes, fact. If you guys should buy which was the best ones. Oh, that's some nice wheels. Yeah, I'll make a video on that so you guys will know what to buy and what not to buy. So this is the end of the video. There's gonna be more Southwest Florida content coming out. So goodbye, guys, and I'll see you guys. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.